What's one thing a buyer can overlook when buying a property? It's what happens to property taxes after they move in. So let's break it down. Here in Michigan, property taxes are capped for homeowners. They will increase year after year, but it's only by either the rate of inflation or 5%, whichever is lower. And it's this Michigan rule that protects you from huge tax jumps. But when a home sells and transfers hands, that's when that cap resets. So you need to expect that the year after you buy that home, the assessor will uncap that taxable value, bring it up to today's level, which is generally equal to the state equalized value, and then that is your new taxable value. This is why the buyer will be paying more than the seller did and why the buyer needs to be prepared. For example, I just had a buyer looking at a property where the owner owned the property for over 20 years. And so that means that her taxable value had been capped for over 20 years. So as I explained to her, if she decided to buy that property, once she did, she needed to expect there to be a big jump in her annual property taxes. And when we did the math and figured it out, it was going to be a little bit over 50% increase in those taxes. So buyers, I'd love to hear the story. When you purchased, were you prepared for what was going to happen with the taxes? Had the seller owned that home for a long time and so you saw a big increase in your taxes? Or had the seller not owned it for a long time, maybe just a few years, and so although you saw an increase, it was smaller? Let's hear that story. Did it change your payment and were you surprised? Comment below, and if you've got questions, ask me.